Khadija, the word is free. The word is yours.
Hi, I'm really touched, and it's a bit. I didn't expect it. I mean, I'm really touched, and thank you so much for the importance you have given to our cause, to our problems, and to people who are so far away from you, who are living like thousands of kilometers away from you. But thank you for being there for us, and thank you for sharing our values, and caring about our problems. And it's a difficult moment for me because today one of my friends and colleagues, he got arrested 2 days ago, and today the court decided about pre-trial detention. So he will be number 8 in the list, number 9 in the list of imprisoned journalists in Azerbaijan, and he will be. He's a friend and colleague, and he's an investigative journalist. We work together. We've been sharing great moments of writing in a dangerous place, and he was kidnapped. He was abducted in another country and brought to Azerbaijan. And if you Google news, you will see the news about Afgan Muhtarli. So today is a kind of a sad day for me, but not only because of this, but also because a number of people who remain in jail, and I feel kind of guilty for stealing the world's attention while I was in jail, because the world was speaking a lot about me, and more than 100 prisoners were deprived of this attention. And right now I'm trying, together with other friends and colleagues, to do my best to get these people out of prison. So there are 147 cases we have documented already. They are in the list of political prisoners. Among them, 2 writers, poets. They are Sadai Shekarli. He is a writer, and he published only one book where he criticized the father of incumbent president, and that put him in jail. And there is a poet, Tawfiq Hasanli, who writes satire poems, really biting satire, and really amazing satire. He writes it in an ancient Azeri or Middle Eastern form in Aruz, and his poetry is amazing and really biting. And he ended up in jail for doing that. So these 2 writers wait until the world will know about their cases, and wait until the world will speak about that. And I feel partly guilty because the world will have been speaking a lot about me, and these people were deprived of this attention. So I feel obligated to speak out for them, and I hope, and now I ask you, by addressing this people gathered here, please keep attention on those cases. And I'm doing it, and it's not in vain, and I'm doing it because it is important. I received a lot of letters from Norway, and some of them came through Norwegian PEN. And these letters have been warming my heart while I was in prison, and I still keep them at home, and they keep cheering me up in the worst moments. So please continue what you are doing, because it was important, and please pay attention to the cases, to the voiceless cases. All I can do is to remind the world from time to time about people who need their attention. And I understand that Azerbaijan is not Syria, for example, and it's not the hottest spot in the world. So the world is right when it thinks that it's not the #1 problem in their agenda. But Azerbaijan is a country where you can still do something and still can save the values. And we are trying to keep our values alive. And it's quite difficult right now because the human rights situation is getting worse and worse. And the world is becoming more and more ignorant to the situation in my country. And while in jail, I've been reading a lot of literature. There was a time, and if we have to be positive about being in prison, that's a good chance to read a lot, to think a lot. And I've been reading Salman Rushdie's Shame, and it struck me how similar were the problems, how similar were the caprices of those in power, how similar were the games they've been playing, and how similar was the ignorance of the world to the problems of the people. And while the world stays ignorant, Pakistan, from the country with moderate problems, becomes more troubled place. Middle East, that could have been cherishing thanks to its resources, becomes a hotspot of the world. So it's important not to be ignorant, and it's important to pay attention while it's not late. And it's not late with Azerbaijan, so I ask the world to pay attention. And in that novel, Rushdie has a passage about the shame or the lack of shame that about Europe and its ignorance about the problems in Pakistan and in other countries of Middle East. And it's not your problem, maybe. You live far away, you built the better system. Maybe you shouldn't care about that. But the world is becoming so small. And it's with all these communication tools and with all these institutions that unite the countries, our problems suddenly become your problems. And it's clear when Scandinavian countries, when European countries try to run their businesses in the countries with history of Byzantine style of business, and they start bribing our officials. That's one of the investigations I've done. It was about the Swedish company that did try to boost its business by bribing presidential family. Well, actually they did bribe the presidential family. And then another company that tries to run its business by paying back some of the money getting for contracts they win. So all these investigations show that it's easy it's not easy to stay clean while the countries you are cooperating with are dirty. There is a dirt there. So it's not easy, it's impossible. It's impossible to keep your politics clean of corruption when your politicians are shaking hands of the dictators of the world. So one of the recent investigations I've done is the most recent one, was about the bribe that Italian member of parliament received for silencing Council of Europe about political prisoners issue in Azerbaijan. And well, my investigation was about the source of the money, and I proved that the company that sent the money, the original company, was linked to the family of Azerbaijani president. So, so our corruption stops remaining. It doesn't remain our corruption. It becomes your corruption as well. It corrupts your politician. It brings corruption practices to your countries and to the institutions your country is a member of. And that's why it's important to write about it. And it's not important only for us, the residents of Azerbaijan, but also for the world. And I'm not like very much into literature. I did translate novels, and I did translate one while I was in jail, because I had a lot of time, and because the novel touched me. Children of Jacaranda Tree. It's about Iran and how the two generations of Iranian people have been struggling in the same fight even after the changes of the system. And part of the problem was that the world was ignorant to what was happening there. And then when the world became cautious about the problems there, it was too late. And now generations after generations, Iranian people are struggling the same issues under different regimes, issues of fundamental human rights. And that novel touched me because it was similar, the threats described there were similar to the threats we are facing now, with all this corruption, with all this ignorance and lack of education, leading to something that is happening after 1979 in Iran. And I decided to translate it to educate people of Azerbaijan about what might be an outcome of their silence now, or what might be an outcome of not being ready to positive changes in their countries. And if there will be no readiness for changes in the country, then some other people can take advantage. And then one day you will find out that your country is lost. And I know that Turkish people are going through the same process now, when they are basically losing their country because for a long time the society of Turkey was kind of ignorant to the undercarpet processes in their country. And now almost everyone I know in Turkey is in prison. And I understand that this is a situation when the world should speak out. And at the same time, I see that is not enough in Turkey. And the world should unite and respond harshly to what is happening. And one way to do that is to punish those who are punishing their own people. And these people should not have access to European countries to democracies. Dictators, authoritarian leaders who are depriving their citizens from basic rights should not have access to European countries and enjoy the products of democracy in those countries. Almost everyone in our government, in Azerbaijani government, is traveling to Europe to get medical care, to get education for their children, because they destroyed all this in their own country. And they go and they invest their money in European countries because there is no guarantee of the property in our own country. And I think the way to stop them behaving like this in their own country is to cut their access to products of democracy in Europe. And it's important that Europe starts speaking about sanctions against authoritarian leaders, torture perpetrators, the corrupt officials,